I'm John.
I'm Amy.
And this is the Angry Pickle. Okay, so today we're going to talk about our first adventure in the Angry Pickle. We took about a 2,200 mile road trip. We left from Arkansas, drove across Oklahoma into Colorado, well, through the corner of New Mexico, up into Colorado. We stopped in Buena Vista, Colorado. We went through Crested Butte. We kind of made our way over, I'm not sure if it's pronounced Keebler Pass or Kebler Pass. Went through there and then circled up through Glenwood Springs. And then we went down to Red Cliff, that area, the Homestake Reservoir area. And then from there we left and drove back across Kansas. Stayed several days. We're gonna, before we get into our experiences, I'm gonna put a couple of our pictures up. You can see kind of our adventures and what we got to see. Okay, so our first stop was a Walmart parking lot. We took Amy's dogs with us. My dog I had boarded, and so we were able to leave a little early. And so we left Friday night right after work and drove about 5 or 6 hours across Oklahoma. Made it probably halfway across Oklahoma, and then we decided to stop. Stayed in Walmart parking lot, and that is really not that fun. We found we ended up staying right next to a semi truck. We went to bed about midnight, and it was 2 hours later. The semi cranked up his truck, I guess, to charge his batteries, run his air conditioner, let his dog out. It started barking at everything, and so we tried to sleep through that, and we finally ended up just getting up and taking off. But basically, you know, on our first video you saw, we talked about, we showed you all the features of the bus, but some of the highlights of what we want to talk about today are bathroom issues. Not really issues, but issues. Water and shower issues, and then trash. Those are the big three things we learned. We had a great time on our trip. We stayed in some gorgeous places, saw some neat things, but these are the experiences that we want to talk about. First, let's talk about bathroom. If you watched our first video, you saw that we built a Sawdust toilet. Basically, the way it works was it's a built-in toilet, and we have a bucket in it, line it with the trash bag, and then we put another trash bag in it. And our idea and what we had learned was to use sawdust, put down some sawdust, do your number 2, cover it with sawdust. It's supposed to cut out the smell. You just wind the bag up and like put it in another bucket or whatever. It did not contain the smell.
It did not.
And we found out that we are going to have to do something a little different on that. So what we did about halfway through is we would take the bag we took out, put it in a Ziploc bag, and zip it up, and it still didn't contain the smell. It just wasn't that great of a plan. It didn't work out like we thought.
No. And I think it was because you can't get sawdust underneath, maybe encapsulating it. I have no idea, but it didn't work.
Yeah, it didn't coat everything. I think a better idea would have been to not use a bag at all and just use a layer of sawdust, do your business, layer of sawdust, and do that. And then I guess the hard part would be finding a place to dump it. It wasn't that hard finding a place to dump our trash bags, but it did not work out good. So we're going to have to make a change on that, number one. Number two, let's talk about water issues.
Finding it was kind of a challenge whenever you're staying on just boondocking sites where we were, which have, since we're self-contained, we could not have to rely on electric outlets at campsites. So we could just go and park wherever, but that also means you don't have access to water. So when our 45-gallon tank would run low or run out, we would have to find it. And we learned...
we never really ran out of water. We got low.
Low.
What we did find out was, I don't know how... Well, I guess we found out how it is in the rest of the country. But here in Arkansas, in every town you can go to at least 1 or 2 gas stations, and they will have an air compressor to air up your tires, and then they'll have a water spigot where you could fill up with water. That was not the case in Colorado, and
not where we saw.
Right.
And when we stopped in towns and we asked somebody that worked for the city where we could get water, they pointed us to a water fountain. So
yeah,
that wasn't going to work.
That did not work for us. That was in Glenwood Springs, and so what we found was you can go to campgrounds, but if you're going to go to a campground and you're going to get water, you're going to have to pay to stay the night. You can't just go there. We went to one campground, and I offered to pay the guy to let us fill up our tank, and instead he directed us somewhere else. So what we ended up doing is Amy found a site online where you can go and find dump stations. There's just public dump stations at rest areas, and we found a dump station around, I believe it was Eagle, Colorado, and super easy. You just pull up and they have potable water, non-potable water, a dump station, all that. So we were able to go there and fill up our tanks. Another thing we did is we had 2 spare 5-gallon canisters that we kept filled with water, and a couple of times we had, we just transferred those into our tank. So we never really had a problem with that. We didn't run out, but it was a little difficult finding water. So I think in the future we'll probably plan that out a little better as far as where to get water. Yeah. Along with the water issues was the shower issue. We built this, again on our first video, we built this little jump seat with a shower basin, and it worked, but it was a lot of work to set up, and the problem was with the drain. Whenever you took the hose off, there was still a little water in the drain, and it would leak on the floor. We didn't have any issues with it messing up our floor, but still we had to keep a towel there after it was used. So after that, we decided to just shower outside. We rigged up our shower curtain outside and showered outside, which raises another issue. Our little propane water heater, it's a Camp Chef Triton, works amazingly well. It heats up the water super hot really fast within seconds. But the first spot we stayed was in Buena Vista up in Shields Gulch area, and it was gorgeous. It was overlooking the Collegiate Peaks, and we had just an amazing spot, but it was really windy, and the temperature was great during the day. It was a little chilly at night, but Amy went outside to take a shower, and there was probably 30-mile-an-hour winds, and she's taking a shower, and the wind blew out the pilot light on the water heater, and she sprang herself with cold water. It was probably 70 degrees, but when you have 30-mile-an-hour wind and you're wet, it was not a fun experience for her.
So we're getting a shower, needless to say, inside.
We're going to do a little renovation project. We figured out our toilet wasn't going to work. So what we're going to do is we're going to tear out the toilet, and we're going to put in a real shower stall. It's going to be small because our bathroom area is small, but we're going to make it so we can shower inside.
So upcoming videos on that project.
That we're going to document that. We didn't document our build. I wish we would have. We got a ton of views on our first video, but we didn't document any of it. We took pictures and put them on Facebook, but we didn't think people would be as interested as they are. So we're going to document that one.
Yeah.
The third issue we had was trash. We basically drove places stayed and we just ate. And when you're camping and everything is prepackaged food, it's amazing how much trash you create.
Yeah.
We created way more trash than we do at home.
Yeah.
Just wrappers, bottles. So we created a lot of trash that I kind of feel bad about, but that was just part of the process. And then we had to find places to get rid of the trash. That wasn't that hard.
No.
We found, big gas stations had big trash cans. We could empty them. One spot, we just popped the lid off a Walmart parking lot trash can and put our trash in there. So we were able to get rid of the trash, but we did create a lot more trash than we thought we were going to. For the good things, I think we found out that our solar power system worked way better than even we expected it to. Mm-hmm. We never ran out of electricity. We never even got low, and
I was able to camp and use my hair straightener, so that's like every girl's dream.
The hair straightener didn't use near as much power as we thought it was going to. I was worried, and I honestly didn't want her to try it, but she brought it anyway, and we turned the power on when we left, the power switch to run our solar, and we never turned it off until we got back home. And the lowest the battery got was when we were making coffee in the morning.
Oh, we tried popcorn.
We did try popcorn. Sorry, we did do that. We used the microwave, and it actually did pop it, and it dropped the battery down considerably, but it only got down to about 70%. But with the Renogy solar panels and the two batteries, even when it dropped to 70% using the microwave for a couple minutes, it popped back up to 100% within a minute and a half. Yeah. I ran a CPAP machine at night. I ran the water for the water pump. We ran the refrigerator. We ran box fan.
Three fans at night.
We ran everything in here. Mm-hmm. No issues whatsoever. We had tons of power. I was really surprised about that.
Yep. And plugged in the laptop to watch
shows. Movies almost every night. TV shows and movies on the laptop. So we found that we didn't really use our lights that much, mostly because Amy was going to bed at about 8 o'clock every night. But
eating sleep, straighten my hair.
Yeah, that's about all we did. So.